Hey babes, it is Sharonda Isadora and welcome to Brazen Babe Reviews. And this will be, what am I doing? Whew, I've been drinking. Hey babes, it's Sharonda Isadora and welcome to Brazen Babe Reviews. And during this, whatever you want to call it, I will be doing a book review, a book recap, whatever you want to call it. So let's get to this, shall we? Okay, so again, welcome. Wow, it has been a minute since I've done, since I talked about a book on here. Today we're going to talk about D.L. White's Brunch at Ruby's. So sit back, relax, have a drink. I have one. I have my glass of wine. Yes. Well, this is my second glass. So yeah. And I'll be going kind of like off the cuff with this recap review. I don't have like any notes, but we'll get into the details as I go along. So excuse me. So as usual, what I'll do is I will read the blurb to you guys so that you guys can have like a general idea what is going on with this book. So I'll read the blurb to you and then I'll explain to you how I came across this fantastic ass novel by Miss White. So let's get into this blurb. And it reads as, and I'm taking this directly from Goodreads.com. Ruby's Soul Food Cafe has been the neighborhood hotspot their whole lives. So it's only fitting that Ruby is where Deborah, Maxine, and Renee meet monthly to do what girlfriends do. Eat, drink, and offer unsolicited advice on life and love. Deborah Macklin has it all: a successful career, a long marriage, and a happy 12-year-old daughter. But she's hiding a secret that can only be, but she's hiding a secret that could not only shatter her perfect image, but destroy her marriage and career. When her secret is spilled, Deborah is poised to lose everything she holds dear. Maxine Donovan is a self-made woman, but despite all she earns and owns, she's on a constant quest for Mr. Right. Handsome, aloof Malcolm Brooks might just be the one, but when Malcolm's attention turns towards her friend instead, Maxine is ready to risk a strong bond to fight for him. Renee Gladwell left a lucrative job and a handsome boyfriend to nurse her father in Gladwell Books back to health. A temporary stay has turned into 4 years of struggling with Alzheimer's and a family-owned bookstore that is in no shape to sell. Renee is in limbo, caring for a man who is slowly forgetting his past, including her. When she meets Malcolm Brooks, her life brightens, but is love worth risking a friendship? Brunch at Ruby's is a funny, inspiring, soulful look into lifelong bonds that bend but never break. So, I'll tell you how I came across this book. Now, I had this book sitting on my Kindle for a minute because I do believe when I purchased it on Amazon, it was available at 99 cents. I'm not sure of what the price is now, but you can go on Amazon and check the price as well. And then the author herself, Miss D.L. White, she was offering, she was on Twitter and she had some codes for her books, for Audible, for the audio book version of her books. And she was offering, she put it out there on Twitter, that she was asking book reviewers, bloggers, if they were interested in listening to the audio versions of her book. And I jumped on it, girl. You know, I was like, yes, I'll do it. So I had Brunch at Ruby's already in the Kindle format, but like I said, when the author herself, Miss White, offered, you know, bloggers and reviewers to, you know, to listen to the audio versions of her book, I jumped on it. So she was very nice enough, and she offered me some codes to listen to Brunch at Ruby's and a couple of the books of hers. So I listened to Brunch at Ruby's first, and y'all, I got my goddamn life. If you follow me on Twitter, my @handle is BBR Reviews, and it's Sharonda Isadora at Brazen Babe Reviews. And I did a tweet storm as I was listening to Brunch at Ruby's, because what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm doing this off the cuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down, I gave you the blurb, so what I want to do now is give you a breakdown of these characters, and then I'll just give you like a general feel of how I felt about the book. So you have these three friends, these three best friends, been friends since high school, middle school, right? And they're all adults, and they all are living their lives. But you know, as life goes along, we have these issues that come up, but we always have our friends and we have our families that, you know, we may go, you know, talk to about this shit or the ish that is going on in our lives. And for me, that's what I got out of breakfast at Ruby's. You know, we have these three girls, or these three women. They are best friends. They have been best friends since middle school, high school, and you know, they're there from each other, even through their bullshit, which is one of the things that I tweeted as I was listening to this book. So we'll go, like I said, I'll do a drive-by of the characters, and then I'll talk about how I felt about this story. So we have Deborah, we have Maxine, and we have Renee, right? So I gave you the description of these characters and the blurb. So, you know, you have these three friends, and, you know, they have their own dynamics of going on in each of their personal lives. And they meet every month at this particular restaurant that is called Ruby's. It's kind of like a soul food restaurant. And although the girls do keep up with each other, I'm going to say girls because shit, that's what I want to say. You know, the girls keep up with each other throughout, you know, their lives or whatever, you know, but they have this monthly brunch at Ruby's where they all, you know, sit down, talk about, you know, shoot the shit, talk about what's going on in their lives, you know, up close and personal. So you have Deborah, you have Maxine, and you have Renee. And Renee, I'll start off with Deborah. Deborah has the picture perfect lifestyle. She's the married one out of the two friends. She's been with her husband since she's been with her husband. She has this picture perfect lifestyle, happily married, you know, good job. Husband has a good job. You know, everything is supposed to be, you know, everything is picture perfect, you know, Christmas card perfect, right? But Deborah has her own little things going on. You know, we put on this facade as, you know, everything is perfect. I'm happy. Deborah is the friend that is going to work your nerves because, you know, she's in this happy, you know, not to say that, you know, she's in this happy marriage or whatever, but she's that friend, you know, she eats healthy. She has this perfect job. She has this perfect husband. She has this perfect daughter. Everything is perfect in Deborah's life. Maybe not so much, right? So Deborah has this thing that is going on, and I'll spill some things, but I won't spill everything. You know, Deborah is having a little Deborah has a little side piece on the side, you know, and you know, that's where her issue stems from in Brunch at Ruby's. Deborah is Deborah is the cheater in her marriage, and this starts once this cheating incident is found out, not only by her best girlfriends but her husband and members at her job. Deborah is a principal at a school, so this starts off a chain of events that leads Deborah down this pretty dark and deep road. She is kind of like the together one of the girls. They come to her. She's kind of like the middleman between the girls, when they're like, having issues and things of that nature. They go to Deborah, when shit, when they have to talk about shit and things, shoot the shits and things like that. So when Deborah is having her own kind of like escapade and having her own issues, she is also the friend that kind of like holds everything inside, because everyone is used to coming to her about their problems, because she's a principal at a school. So she's kind of like the authoritative figure. So people are used to coming to her and talking to her and letting their shit onto her, and she's supposed to be the one that's supposed to tell them, give them the good advice, it's gonna work out, don't worry about it, blah blah blah. But when this situation happens, when this affair comes to light, and now everything that she has worked so hard for, especially her family, now that is on the line, Deborah is starting to have some issues, and she's not talking to anyone. She's not even her best. She's telling them things, but she's not telling them everything. And it starts to take a toll on her and her health and her mental health and her well-being, and starts to affect her in a lot of ways. And she starts to she starts to take a little bit of a dark turn and as we go further inside of the story. So that is Deborah's thing. Then we move on to Maxine. Maxine is the bougie bitch of the group. We love her, but we low-key kind of like, ugh, if I ain't love this bitch, Maxine is that girl. She's all together. Everything is name brand. 2019, fresh off the lot, high-end car. Maxine is that girl. I kind of had like a hate-love relationship with Maxine throughout the story, because Maxine was, she is, you love her and she loves you, because like I said, these girls have been friends for a very long time. But Maxine can be shady, even like, she loves you and you love her, but she could be that shady bitch. She might say something out the way and it's kind of like, hey bitch, you pushing it, you know what I mean? And that's how I was with Maxine throughout the story. But I love Maxine. She was very upfront. She told it like it was. She was that friend, you know what I mean? But Maxine had, because of the past that she came from and where she's at now as like the successful realtor in Atlanta, and she didn't just sell any homes, she sold high-end luxury homes and apartments and condos, townhouses, that type of shit, So she lived the part in Atlanta, you know what I mean? So being from where she came from and where she's at right now, I felt like throughout the story that Maxine felt like she had an image to keep up with. And as we went further inside of the story, we got to meet her mom and found out about how, this kind of like, rough, poor background that her mom, and, what her mom had to do to, to keep food on the table and, shit like that, and there was one part in the story where Maxine's mother had told her something about, when she meets a man, the way Maxine took it, it was just like, basically don't go for no broke ass man. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be with somebody, his bank account, better be able to take care of you and him and, all your future generations. You know what I'm saying? But her mom kind of didn't put it like that, but what her mom said to her, Maxine took it literally, and Maxine wants somebody to match her lifestyle. She didn't want, anyone that didn't, match her bank account. She wanted somebody that matched her bank account. Or shit, he better have been, a little bit richer than her, you know what I mean? And I can't fault her for that. You know what I mean? I feel like when women are told to do that, especially black women, they're called gold diggers, and things of. I don't like that. When black women, especially black women, are, we're kind of like told to lower our standards because of the way that black people are treated in this country, period. You know what I mean? And sometimes when you meet a dude, he probably won't be at the financial status that you want him to be, but I feel like as I've gotten older, I feel like a woman shouldn't lower her standards. If she wants that, she wants a dude with a certain type of bank account, she should strive for that. She should she shouldn't lower her standards. You know what I mean? I don't care if being where I'm at right now, life, I don't care if a dude, he could be a good dude, but if his bank account doesn't match what you want in life, why should you lower your standards? You know what I mean? I feel like I said, especially with black women, women in period, women period, but especially with like women of color, or mainly black women, if they put it out there that they want a man with with certain digits in his bank account, they're immediately named as like they're immediately labeled, you're a gold digger, what are you bringing to the table and all that other stuff. And I feel like, the fuck I gotta bring to the table? You know what I'm saying? If that's what I want, that's what I want, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get it. You know what I mean? So that's just where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? I feel two ways about it. I can go both sides of the spectrum. You can, if he's a good dude and his bank account ain't matching what you want, and if you feel like hey, financially he ain't what I want, but he's a good dude, he treat me right, blah blah blah, I'm just gonna take it, then that's on you. But I feel like women shouldn't be pressured to lower their standards in any kind of a way because just because that's just where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? So, and that's what Maxine was eventually. We do have it where Maxine, and this comes into the other friend in the group, Renee. Renee right now is the struggling one in the group. She did leave a lucrative job, but Renee left that lucrative job in another state to come back and take care of her dad. With Renee, family comes first, and her dad is in the early stages of Alzheimer's, and she had to drop her life elsewhere to come back and take care of her dad. Her mom passed away early on, and right now it's just her and her dad. So Renee basically has to do what Renee has to do. And her financials take a hit, and her mom did own a bookstore, but you know, because her mom passed for dad and the dad wasn't doing what he had to do, you know, and all that other stuff, you know, the bookstore kind of like took a hit, took a dive. So Renee just didn't have to come back to take care of her sick dad. She had to come back and save a failing business. So Renee is taking on all of this, and you know, Renee is dealing with a lot. So right now she's kind of like the broke friend in the group. She's not too broke, but she's not where she was, you know what I mean? And Renee is also the non-confrontational group and a friend. Y'all, that wine is hitting me, but that's okay. We're gonna take another sip just because. She's the non-confrontational friend in the group. She's also the one that, you know, if the ladies are kind of like beefing amongst each other, you know, outside of her beefing with the other ladies, you know, she's usually the one that they come to and they talk to about everything. So we have this dude, Malcolm. Malcolm is new to Atlanta. You know, he's good old, you know, Southern, I believe he's Southern country boy. And Maxine is introduced to Malcolm first. And Maxine takes interest into Malcolm. But Malcolm ain't really interested in Maxine like that. But Maxine is kind of like a very assertive type of a woman, and she's going to make herself kind of like I don't know, kind of like, you know, she's gonna make it known that she likes you, you know, whether you like her or not. If you like her and she reciprocates that like, then y'all may have some things going on. If she doesn't reciprocate it, then, well, sir, that's on you. But in this instant, Malcolm isn't kind of like reciprocating, but Malcolm does take to her friend Renee, and we have this friction that kind of like starts between Maxine and Renee because of Malcolm. And I will say it kind of wasn't. Here's my thing on that. I feel like, God, because Malcolm was a typical ass dude. He knew that Maxine liked him, but he really didn't kind of like say to Maxine like, hey, you know, I know you like me, but I'm not feeling you like that. He kind of just like let her just you know, go on with her infatuation with him. And he didn't, when he approached Renee, he didn't really like tell Renee the full story. And these two girls are friends, you understand what I'm saying? And because he wasn't kind of like upfront in the beginning, it caused some tension between the girls. But it just wasn't Malcolm's thing either. Like I said, Maxine was a very assertive person, and she made her like of Malcolm known to him, but she was kind of like oblivious to the fact that he wasn't returning her affection, you know what I mean? And Maxine was the type of woman, she's very beautiful, very successful, carries herself a certain way, and she's going to attract, you know, certain dudes, you know what I mean? But Malcolm wasn't that dude. Malcolm wasn't attracted to Maxine like that. And Maxine just took, I feel like Maxine kind of like took it upon herself to just feel like, you know, every man wants me when they see me. And I like that confidence. Like, girl, get it. You know, hey, we all need that. You know what I'm saying? But if dude, it was pretty obvious that he didn't like her. But I feel like Maxine felt like every man in Atlanta wants me. Why don't you want me? You know what I mean? So, but Malcolm being a typical ass dude, he really didn't make it known to her that her feelings weren't reciprocated, and this caused tension, not just between the girls, but between this new budding relationship that he has started with Renee, because him and Renee are hitting it off. You know, Renee was his type of, was his type, and Malcolm has a past too. Malcolm is new in Atlanta, and I won't give you too much details, but there is a reason why he's not, you know what I mean, reciprocating Maxine's feelings back towards her. You know what I mean? So Renee's type attracts him, and not that Renee is a bad type. Renee is a very sweet, loving person. You know, she's just, you know, she's not as glamorous and you know, flashy as Maxine is, but you know, she still is a good person, a very beautiful person. And you know, but this this tension between herself, Maxine, and Malcolm isn't Renee's only issue. Renee has a sick parent. She has a dad that is dealing with Alzheimer's, and it's not easy for her, you know, taking care of her father. He's an older gentleman, but you know, he's still relatively young, you know, as far as like senior citizen age or whatever, and he's in the early stages of this disease, and Renee has to pretty much be, you know, his part-time nurse. She has a nurse that comes in that helps her out and stuff like that, but you know, she pretty much has to you know, be part-time nurse, you know, take care of this failing business, bring this business back and make it a thriving you know, you know, for-profit business for herself and her family. And you know, you know, when you're dealing with a sick parent, you know, especially with Alzheimer's and stuff like that, you know, the money put into that can be astronomical, you know what I mean? So, you know, she has to think of all, you know, those aspects of, you know, dealing, you know, with her dad's Alzheimer's and stuff like that. So Renee has a lot of things going on. She doesn't really want to put her dad inside of a nursing home or a facility that, you know, that may be you know, more that may be more equipped to take care of her dad. Renee was that type of child. You know, she felt guilty about you know, putting her dad in a facility. Hands up right now. I already told my mother, you either going inside a facility or you going to live with one of your other daughters. Not Shalonda. Anyway, these are the three ladies that we're dealing with inside of Brunch at Ruby's. We have three different personalities, and within these different personalities, we have these three women dealing with different things. You know, in their personal lives. How I felt about the story. I enjoyed listening to Brunch at Ruby's so much. The narrator did a fantastic job of capturing each character's voice and temperament, from the male to the female voices. She did. I mean, we had a 12-year-old child in the story, and she was able to take on that voice of a 12-year-old child and just do, you know, did really, really good with it. So I really enjoyed the narrator. She did a wonderful job of just like I say, just capturing like every. All right, so I thought I'd split this a little bit. I forgot to show forgot to show you guys the cover for Brunch at Ruby's. It's a really gorgeous cover. It's making me hungry. So here it is. Excuse the ring light. So let's do that. So let's start with that. And that is the cover for Brunch at Ruby's by D.L. White. So again, as I was saying, like, I really enjoyed like the way the narrator just took on the voices for each and every character inside of Brunch at Ruby's. How I felt for the story as a whole. I love this story. Like, listening to it was just like listening to like three best friends, you and your girls just like just like living your lives, and y'all meet up and y'all have these conversations, and y'all have y'all issues, y'all yell, y'all scream, y'all cuss each other out. But I love the dynamics between the three girls, because no matter what they were going through, they always ended up being there for one another. And I love the fact that throughout the story, that even with Maxine and Renee, and with this issue with dude kind of sort of in between them, the author D.L. White always made it known that I love my friend. On both Maxine and Renee's side, I love my friend. I love my friend. Like, both ladies kept saying this. Like, even though people were giving them like sound advice, good and sound advice on both sides about the issue, it was always like, yeah, I know. It was always like, I love my friend. But you know what I'm saying? So I like that we got that between Maxine and Renee. I do feel like, as when I was listening to the story, I do feel like Maxine felt like she was better than Renee, because though she thought as Renee, as her sister, her best girlfriend, like whatever. But I do like low key feel like Maxine thought she was better than Renee, because when this issue arrived with Malcolm liking Renee better than Maxine was just like, like, how the fuck dare you? Like, how dare you like her, more than you like me? You know what I mean? So there's some history between Maxine and Renee or whatever, as far as like dudes or whatever. But that's why I had that thought of that. I felt like Maxine thought she was better than Renee. And Renee was just like this really just sweet, like I said, non-confrontational friend. She was there, through thick and thin for everybody. So I don't understand why Maxine had that feeling about her. But, sometimes, we had that dynamics inside of a relationship. But I really just enjoyed like the wonderful like sister girl, like, even though these ladies weren't sisters, like, I really like love that sister girl feel amongst them. Like, we have our problems, we'll yell, we'll scream, we'll cuss each other fuck out, we'll call each other names when we ain't when we ain't in our right state of minds, when we might be a little, when we mad, might be a little bit drunk, we might say some old out the way shit to one another. But when shit goes down, when shit really gets real, especially with this situation that is going on with Deborah, these ladies prove that, even throughout the bullshit, that, we're going to have each other's back, because that's what we do. We're best friends. We're sister friends. Like I said, we're going to yell, we're going to scream, we're going to cuss each other out, we're going to call each other names, and we the only one that could call each other, names out the way and stuff. But when some true shit, when some real shit go down, goes down, you know, these ladies always prove that they were going to be there for one another, you know. So I highly enjoyed this book. It was such a good listen to. You guys have to follow me on Twitter because I was tweeting up a storm as I was listening to this, because these were very real. And I know we say that a lot, you know, about the books we read, and we do get that, especially, I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like, you know, especially like in Black romances, just books written by Black authors, period, you know, or authors, you know, other authors of color. I just feel like we get some real shit. We get very relatable, you know, cause relatable characters and stories, because you could be like reading, you'd be like, you know what, I get that shit. I totally understand that shit. You know what I mean? So I felt that as I was listening to Brunch at Ruby's, because I don't know why I want to keep saying breakfast. That cover, that's why I want to keep saying cover, breakfast. But the story was so freaking enjoyable. I enjoyed it so much. And just listening to it, just listening to the narrator just give you like a voice to these characters inside of the story, that just gave you, like, that was extra for me. Like, the experience of listening to this narrator just give a voice to these different characters and their situations and their emotions and what they were going through. Child, that was the best thing for me. I enjoyed this so much. And that is a testament to this author's writing. She just really, like, she gave you like real life situations with these ladies. You know what I mean? This is something that, you know, women may be going through right now. You know, the wife, you know, the wife with the so-called picture perfect family, you know what I'm saying, the picture perfect job and everything, you know, the right car, you know, the right finances, everything is perfect, but maybe it's not. You know, what do we know? You know what I'm saying? We're just on a outside being nosy, you know, bitch, like, that looks good, but maybe it's not so goddamn good. You know what I mean? And how she deals with this breakdown of her marriage and her job and all this other stuff, and, you know, how does she, being the kind of like the go-to friend about everything, now shit is falling apart for her. Like, how is she gonna she's gonna keep that shit straight without, you know, letting her best girlfriends know, like, y'all, look at this motherfucking fire over here. You see this big ass motherfucking fire? You see this you see this firewall? I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. And here y'all come with y'all, you know what I mean? So I got it, but I also wanted Deborah to pull her head out her ass, like, you were smart. Deborah, I understand it because I get it, you know, because when shit is falling apart, you don't know how to deal. You're sitting there like, what the fuck am I going to do? Especially if you're like this character Deborah, and everybody knows you as this, she's got it together. Even when shit is falling apart, she gonna figure it out. She got it. But what if she don't got it? What if she don't know how to get it? And that's what was Deborah's issue. You know, not just the falling apart of her marriage and, you know, the possibility of losing her job, you know, because of all of this, but a person that usually has it together, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to handle it. I wanted Deborah, as I was listening, I wanted Deborah to just get her head out her ass and just, like, I was just like, come on, Deborah, like, this isn't you. You know what I mean? But me, like I said, me being where I'm at now, we generally can't say that, because we can always say that, you know, the person that's supposed to have the answers to everything, maybe they don't. And maybe when shit is falling apart for them, they're just like us. Like, they just don't know how to fucking deal. You know what I mean? Especially when the people that you hurt and that are most important to you are starting to check out. Like, oh no, bitch. No, 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 no. You know, your shit was bad. Maybe I was being, you know, her husband. Like, her husband, I was like, motherfucker, you fucked up too. You know what I mean? I ain't saying that she had to do what she had to motherfucking do. You know, I ain't saying she had to do what she had to do, but you will know, you know, you weren't right either. But you know, when the people you hurt start to check out on you, you know what I mean, that, and you feel like, oh shit, like, I didn't think they would do that, and they did what you didn't think they would do. And so I wanted Deborah to get it together, but I definitely understood where Deborah was coming from. Trust. So, you know, like I said, these were like very relatable characters. You know, when you take on a lot of stuff, you know, each of these ladies, you know, they're adult, grown-ass ladies doing, you know, handling their businesses and doing what they have to do in their own personal lives. But, you know, when shit fall apart, you should be able to depend on someone. And why can't that someone be, you know, your best girlfriends? I love this. I love the story. I love listening to it. And like I said, just like listening to this narrator just reflect these characters in their arcs and their feelings and, you know, what they were going to. It's just a testament of D.L. White's writing. She just gave us like very relatable characters and very relatable stories. You know, because we can get relatable characters, but if the story doesn't mesh, it's just like, you know, sometimes apples and oranges. You know what I mean? So I feel like with Brunch at Ruby's, we just got like a perfect mesh of everything. We got relatable characters, we got relatable stories. You know, we got these women where everything should be going right for them, you know, at this stage in their lives, and everything seems to be kind of like falling apart for them. You know, rather they may, you know, if you're an outside person looking in, you kind of feel like, what do you like, what in case of, you know, Maxine, like most people would look at her and be like, you know, bitch, like what the, like you own your own business, you have the, you know, everything, you know, you have money in the bank, you know, you driving around this fancy ass car, like, bitch, you living a life, like, what? But what if she may feel like something's not, you know, even though she has all this shit going on, you know, you looking in, you see perfection, but what if she's looking in as well, and maybe what you think is perfection, maybe she doesn't think it is, you know, it's not so perfect. And that's no slight towards Maxine, because Maxine was a bad bitch. Maxine was confident in her shit, but she still was missing something. You know what I mean? And hence, you know, this issue that came up between her best friend Renee and this dude that she kind of like took a liking to, and he was just like, you know, we could be friends, girl, but I ain't kind of like feeling you like that. You know what I mean? So we have that. You know what I mean? And Renee's story is very, you know, Renee's story is, you know, struggling. You know, everything was great. You know, she was in another city, living her life, may have been, you know, possibly engaged, but, you know, family, I won't say drama issues, but, you know, a family thing came up and she had to do what she had to do. And Renee did what she had to do, you know, and, Renee was the type of character where she sacrificed her happiness, her feelings, you know, to accommodate everybody else. And she was even willing, you know, to forgo a relationship for, you know, for a best friend, you know, for a sister girlfriend. And when we got to that part, I was like, girl, fuck Maxine. Maxine be all right. because that would have been me. At this point in my life, that would have been me. Now, younger me probably would be like, I ain't gonna do that to my best friend, but shit. Especially the way Maxine was acting in this book, I would be like, bitch, if you don't get the... Girl, I love you. But, I ain't about to pass up no good man for no bitch. Best friend or not. But like I said, I enjoyed the story. It was a wonderful, it was just a very well done story, well told story, especially in the audiobook format. So in my little opinion, Sharonda Isadora, I will highly recommend the audiobook because I enjoyed it. It's been a long time since I did a tweet storm on a book that I've been like reading or listening to or whatever. So yeah. So again, the book is available in a Kindle format. I'm not sure if the author has print copies. She may have, you know, hit her up on Twitter. She's always on Twitter, DL White. Hit her up, you know. She may have print copies, but in my little opinion, I think you would enjoy the audio format. You just might enjoy the audio format a little bit better. There are it's over 40 chapters, but just listen, you're going to be so drawn into this story, I'm telling you. And let me tell y'all, the audiobook helped my commute out a whole lot. Last week. So yeah, so there's that. So yeah, so we have Kindle format, audio format. My preference is the audiobook format. So yeah, Brunch at Ruby's by D.L. White. This is a highly recommended read. I enjoyed it so much. I love it. She has another book in the series. I think it's a 2-book series. She gave me the code for that one too. I'm trying to remember it. It's something at Sam's. It's Sam's Diner or something to that effect. And so I'm going to be listening to that next because I just can't. I feel like if I go out of sequence, I don't know. That's just a weirdo in me. And then I'll read her. I'll listen to the other 2 books because I do believe she has Leslie's Curl and Dye, and then there's a summer read as well. So yeah. So thank you so much to the author for offering those Audible codes for the audiobooks. I know I'm gonna have a good time listening to the rest of these books. I just know it because it's Brunch at Ruby's. Shit, girl, I was just like, huh? So definitely pick up Brunch at Ruby's. You want to enjoy it. These 3 ladies gave me such a good time. I loved it. This author gave me such a good time. And again, thank you so much to D.L. White for offering the Audible codes to listen to her works. Probably the best thing I did on Twitter. One of the best things that I did on Twitter this past week. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very, very much. So, so yeah, that is it for me, guys, because now I feel like I'm going to start rambling, and y'all don't want to hear me rambling up in here. So until the next one, later days.